There in downtown Milwaukee as we take a look at the president. He's making his way off of Air Force One now, being greeted at the bottom of the tarmac there by Milwaukee Mayor Cavalier Johnson. We also see Milwaukee's County Executive David Crowley there as well, greeting the president now. You know, Hannah talked about this is all in the context of it being Labor Day, of course, the Labor Day holiday. The president is here to talk about the unions and strengthening unions and the importance of unions in his mind. And so that is really the backdrop of what the president's visit is today, coming at a time really when folks are dealing with some record high inflation. So lots of folks will be particularly interested to hear what the president has to say about that and about working and about jobs. We're gonna check in right now with Courtney Sisk. She's also there on the tarmac at the 128th Air Refueling Wing. Courtney, what are you saying?
Hi, Jaron. Yes, so President Biden just got off of Air Force One. Right now, he is being greeted by Milwaukee Mayor Cavalier Johnson and County Executive David Crowley. He just had a couple-minute conversation with Mayor Johnson, likely about Labor Fest and welcoming him here to Milwaukee. Right now, it appears he is in a conversation with County Executive David Crowley. This is his first stop here, Jaron, on Labor Day. He is also going to make a few other stops in states today, but he chose Milwaukee first. And people at Labor Fest say that there is no question why he decided to make his first stop here in Milwaukee, with the rich labor history here with the unions in this city and blue-collar workers. Right now, we are just waiting to see if anyone else is here to greet him. There has been some questions. Are we going to see Governor Evers here on the tarmac? But we do not see him right now. Right now, all we're seeing is, again, Milwaukee Mayor Cavalier Johnson and David Crowley. We do know, though, that Governor Evers did tell 12 News this weekend that he will be the one to introduce the president on stage at Labor Fest on the Henry Meijer Festival grounds later today. So we do know that they will be making an appearance on stage together. But again, as Kent was mentioning earlier, we also were told that this speech is not going to be about any political candidate. However, we do know that this comes just 2 months before Election Day. Evers told 12 News he would be the one who's going to be with Biden on stage. 12 News asked Mandela Barnes if he would be with Biden today, but he and his team did not answer. We're still waiting to see that. But right now, you just see the president here in Milwaukee now being greeted by everyone. It's an exciting day here at the 128th Air Refueling Wing. Again, the president will be going to Henry Meijer Festival Park now to make remarks about Labor Day.
Yeah, Courtney, you said it's 64 days away until those midterm elections, so this visit definitely a high-stakes visit. Although the labor union has said, and even the White House, that this is not a political visit. He is not here campaigning for one candidate or the other. But we did hear from Governor Tony Evers telling 12 News over the weekend that he will be introducing the president on stage at the Henry Meijer Festival grounds, saying that regardless of party, to have a president visit your city and your state is a big deal. So the governor saying that he will absolutely be introducing the president today. In terms of Senate candidate Mandela Barnes, who we have reached out to him and his campaign to see if he will be with the president at any point today. We have not heard back. And as we heard from Hannah Hilliard's reporting live along the parade route, she was able to see Mandela Barnes, tried to get an interview with him earlier this morning, but he was not willing to do an interview with them there at there along the parade route. Again, we have President Biden. He's just gotten into his vehicle there at the 128th Air Refueling Wing in Milwaukee. He's expected to go from here to the Henry Meijer Festival grounds at the Summerfest grounds to participate in Labor Fest. He'll be making a speech there at about 12:15. We know that he's traveling with the Labor Secretary, Marty Walsh, the Department of Labor Secretary, as well as Congresswoman Gwen Moore is expected to be there as well. The president of the AFL-CIO, Liz Shuler, as well as, again, Governor Tony Evers, Eduardo Marquez, as well, executive board member with the Laborers International Union. Those are all of the folks who will be greeting the president once he makes his way to the Henry Meijer Festival Park. As we saw from these live pictures, we know that Mayor Cavalier Johnson and David Crowley, the Milwaukee County executive, were there to greet the president at the tarmac of the 128th Air Refueling Wing. We have Courtney Sisk, who's out there as well. Courtney, it looks like they're kind of just stalled out there before they make their way to the Summerfest grounds.
Right, Jaron, we are seeing some vehicles in the motorcade look like they are getting ready to head over to the Summerfest grounds downtown. But right now, you can see President Biden's car right now just waiting there. Oh, it looks like we've got a little bit of movement. Again, he's set to make a speech at the Summerfest grounds around 12:15 this afternoon. We know that Governor Evers is going to be announcing him on stage today. You can see it looks like they're about to take off right now here from the 128th Air Refueling Wing at the Milwaukee Mitchell International Airport. We'll go ahead and send him off. He is going to the Summerfest grounds for Labor Day to talk about the workers in America and in Wisconsin here. This is his first stop on this holiday. We'll be heading there to talk. The reason, Jaron, that we are so focused on who's here to greet him and who will be with him on stage is because according to a Marquette Law School poll, the president's job approval is lower than Evers. His sits at just 40%, Evers right now at 47%. So it has been interesting to see who will be on stage with him. But again, they said that this is not a political visit, even though it is just 2 months before Election Day. So we'll continue to keep you up to date on air throughout the afternoon on all of the Labor Fest activities here. And Jaron, this is an exciting day, though, for Milwaukee. Everyone is glad here to welcome the president to our state.
Yeah, we see Air Force One on the tarmac there behind you, just giving a rundown of what the president is now headed to Henry Meijer Festival Park, where he will be speaking at about 12:15 this afternoon, making a speech there at Labor Fest. This is the president's second time to visit Milwaukee as the sitting president. We do know that we expect Governor Tony Evers to go ahead and officially welcome him and introduce him there at Labor Fest. And Courtney, we did mention, we heard from you say earlier, talking about already this is not a political visit. The president is not here campaigning for one candidate or another, but already we've heard a number of folks sounding off about the president's visit, including the Wisconsin Republican Party, getting out ahead of the president's visit early today, holding a call with reporters this morning and really turning their attention to the midterm elections, which again are now just 64 days away.